it would just drift away again. And it was like I would forget.
Right.
And then I would be at a restaurant and boom, you know, everybody would start talking. I would be seeing a lot more, notice a lot more. So then I'll think about it. I'll remember again. Wow, I did it. You know, I've always known that I could.
Let's jump to Saturday. This guy, Munguia.
Yep.
Oh man, I got picked out of 1 out of 10, man. They think I'm nobody, man, but they don't look at my record. I'm 20, 40 for KOs. They made a mistake. Tell Sadam, no, this is Telemundo, let's see. Tell Sadam Ali he made a mistake. What's your reaction to that?
No. I mean, that's what he feels. You know, he's confident. He feels I made a mistake. I don't look at it like a mistake. I don't make no mistakes. But we'll see Saturday. That's all I can say. I'm not gonna let anything that he says get to me.
Right.
Because I did what I had to do in training camp, and it really doesn't matter what he says.
To review your training, because I know you're a gym rat, to review the training you were preparing for Liam Smith and lawsuit to Alvarez. This change of view, study films of Smith, now I got to study films of Munguia. It's a change in emotion, mental preparation, or it's still a goal?
The change mentally is not really changed. As for me, not at all. It's just a different style that you're going in there with. I mean, in training camp, I work hard, and that's what for me. That's what I feel I need to do if I want to be at my best. And just a different style. And coming up in the amateurs, you know how many times I didn't know going in there who I would be, or what type of style I'd be running in there with. It is late notice, but I still get to watch. I still get to see who I'm fighting. He's taller. He's 6'1", I believe. Different style of fighting.
6'1", tall Mexican.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, wow.
But yeah, it's a little different, but I'm prepared regardless.
Sadam, did you have to sign off on the switch, or did you leave it to Golden Boy to bring it to your dad, or do you get final say?
At the end of the day, of course, if I want final say, I get final say, but whatever Golden Boy and my dad says, let's do it.
He was great. No, he was great. He just said, I want to fight. Save the fight.
Right.
Yeah. Whenever a fight falls out, 2 weeks notice, it's very tough.
Wow.
At this level,
It's
to come
been
up with a
happening very often
replacement.
lately.
Yeah, well, and it's unfortunate it happened to Sadam, but he was great. He said, get me, I don't care who it is. Just get me, I need to fight.
I messaged you right after. I said maybe tougher fight, maybe even more powerful, and you said maybe. Do you think so? Did you look at it and say, well, geez, this is a different guy, maybe more powerful than the other? Did you think about it twice, or were you just like, no, bang, I'll do it?
He's a different type of fighter. He has power. The height threw me off a little bit. You know, it's a big change. But I'm not worried. You know, I know I put in the work in the gym, and I'm ready. Also, I have Ramadan coming soon, so I couldn't really wait. You know, this morning because we had to get it on. So whoever's in front of me is.
When does that start?
Right after the fight, 14th.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 2 days after the fight. Yeah.
So now, do you view it as a more dangerous fight?
I view every fight dangerous.
Right.
Every fight is dangerous, especially if you're not prepared. This guy has some power shots, those great body shots. But I feel they were both dangerous. You know, any fight there's a risk of somebody trying to take my top. It's a dangerous fight. But I'm ready, and they notice. But there's still 2 guys in there fighting, so I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all.
Sadam, can I ask you a question about the 154-pound division? I mean, I know coming to the Cotto thing was supposed to be about Cotto, but because you won and you're a 154-pound champ, now you're in a division where there's water on a camcorder, which is not what I meant to say. So let's clean that up, and I'll talk to you in a moment. You good, right? one of the cool things lately about boxing is there have been a bunch of unification matches. The problem is, I guess, and maybe this is more for Eric than for you, assuming you win, and I'm not gonna, I know you wouldn't want to assume that, the 154-pound talent is sort of squarely in the PBC area right now.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'd want to unify. What do you think about making fights with those guys? And Eric, you can chime in if that's possible.
Yeah. Look, we're gonna get Sadam the biggest fight we can get him. You know, he deserves it. It's a tough test this Saturday. It's not.
Yeah, I'm not trying to
walkover.
overlook that at all.
It's not a walkover, but you know, he's indicated to me, his father's indicated to me that they want the best fights out there. You know, so we work with everybody. You know, we're doing a fight with PBC in 2 weeks. We have Joseph Diaz fighting. Taking Gary's title. So we have no problem working with anybody. If it's the right deal for Sadam, you know, we're gonna go out and get it. But he deserves the big fights. There's a number of fights he can do.
What do you think of Charlo? What do you think of the, the 154 Charlo? And what do you think also of Hurd at 154? What do you think of your contemporaries?
I think there's a lot of great guys at that weight. I think some of them talk a little too much, but there's great guys up there. I'm the new guy coming up, so you know they get underestimated. They can talk, but.
Is it exciting that there are good fights to be made at that division? I mean, 147 was a good one too, no question. But
yeah, for sure, definitely. I moved up a weight class, and the fact that I can still make so many fights is good.
So Dom, you fought a much higher level of opposition than your opponent. How much of an advantage do you feel that might be in the fight?
I think that's a good advantage. I have more experience. I've been in there with the better guys. So we just have to see how everything plays out when we get in there.
Was there something Cotto said to you after you defeated him that was a kind of passing of the torch? Did he say something like, "Good job, kid"? Did he give you any specific career advice?
Cotto was just always really respectful, even before the fight. You know, I really liked Cotto. He was just very congratulating. You know, he didn't say anything bad.
Well, I meant something possibly good, like you're faster than I thought, or you'll do well at this division. You know, in this division.
Nah, he didn't say that. But he just said more like, you know, congratulations. You know, good luck in your career. Things in that.
That's gotta be pretty cool. I mean, as a baton passing, that's gotta be pretty cool.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Have you spoken to him since?
Nah, we haven't spoken.
Sadam, did you get the level of respect from media and fans and everyone from that win as you expected maybe you would or should?
No.
Coach, talk
Oh,
about
there we go. There we go. He was quiet this whole time.
Coach, talk
There we
about
go.
it.
I mean, for some people, yes, but there's also still some people that doubt. Not just the media. Even fans too. You know, they seen one fight. You know, and they try to discredit it in a way as well. So they don't really. They need to see more of me. You know, at the end of the day.
So you don't take it personal and angry?
I don't take it personal at all, honestly.
Does
It
your
motivates
trainer
me in
take
ways.
it- take it personally?
Maybe, but I mean, I would prefer not to, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what anybody says, what anybody thinks. When I go in there, it comes down to me and God, and I'm gonna be great regardless of what anybody says. It's not gonna stop me. You know, if I'm destined to be great, I'm gonna be great. So me personally, I don't really let it bother me. Sometimes it does, you know, add fuel.
Yes, Steve.
It makes you like, okay.
Well, it bothers me.
I don't believe in you, right?
Sadam is one of the most humble, one of the kindest, one of the most endearing fighters on the planet. Everybody loves him, even the haters love him, and they love to hate him so they can love him more. And it bothers me because he was set up with an assignment that a lot of people thought he would not even to say surpass, but that he could even contend with. And he did that. He rose to the occasion. He did what was asked of him, and he excelled. And yet and still now, people still will discredit the win. They would say that Cotto was too old, but if Cotto would have won the fight, it would have been business as usual. So give Sadam, give my nephew the credit he deserves. He worked for it. when his father and I were bric-a-bracking back and forth, and he told me we're fighting Cotto, and I said, no, we're not. He said, yes, we are. I said, no, we're not. He said, yes, we are. I said, okay. And then Sadam said, no, I want to fight him. I said, all right, well, we have to get ready for this, Simon. And Lenny and I and Curtis, we all got together, and we pushed and we shoved and we slapped and we pinched and everything else to make sure that Sadam was ready to win this fight. And now Sadam is fighting an opponent who is 28-0 with 24 knockouts. His resume reads nowhere near what Saddam's is. And you still have people saying, well, you know, I think Saddam's going to lose this fight. That bothers me. That bothers me. When you excel to elite status, and then you have a young man, and I'm not discrediting him, not at all, but when you have a young man who hasn't performed at the level or the stages that Sadam has, and you're going to give him credit to defeat Sadam Ali, you must be on crack. It's not going to go down that way.
Andre, you know full well that talk is cheap.
All day long.
Experts out there, not inside the ring, oh man, this is nothing. But you're angry, but should that psychologically motivate you to another level of, we're going to show these BSs that he's for real, that he's not a figment of anybody's imagination, that he didn't beat up an old man. I mean, so what? Miguel Cotto's been in wars. Mm-hmm. This young man had also been in wars, and people don't, you know, I have to go back to this because it killed me. When Danny Jacobs was preparing to fight Triple G, oh, that's another victim. I looked up, and I didn't forget Danny Jacobs' record. He has something like 16, 17 straight knockouts. So who the hell hits harder? Who are the tomato cans that Triple G was fighting as opposed to Danny Jacobs? So that knockdown, it would build me up more, give me more incentive to prove these talkabouts better. And I see you angry, but I don't blame you. But I thought I want to calm you down.
No, what it is that I'm not angry at the situation, because a fight is a fight.
Yeah.
But I'm a little perturbed about you denying Saddam's capabilities. This young man was an Olympian. He has fought some really good fighters, and then he went on to encapsulate some greatness by defeating a legend. Right. So we can't discredit what Sadam has done. Sadam is ready to present himself, and me, myself, we take no one lightly, don't get me wrong. But my motto is some guys just don't belong in the ring with you. And on Saturday night, you are going to see vintage Sadam Ali. And as the great one, Muhammad, would say, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. He's going to be stinging somebody on Saturday night, Ali. Right, baby?
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. No, I'm not Muhammad. I'm the world kid Ali.
Oh, there you go. Very good.
So, Sadam, you don't think this kid is on your level then? Based on what he just said?
He has good fight in him. Mm-hmm. He has power. He has, out of his 28 fights, he has 24 knockouts. So he's definitely a dangerous fighter. I wouldn't want to discredit him because of his opponents. Yes, he hasn't been in there with great opponents, but that doesn't really necessarily mean that he doesn't have skill to be great. I know that I'm on another level. I just have to fight smart, and maybe he thinks he can just walk over me, possibly. I don't know. I don't know what he thinks, but come Saturday, everything is going to come to light.
So, Sadam, if and when you beat this kid, you know they're going to say, well, that kid wasn't ready.
Of course.
You know this, we know this, we all know this. So, Sadam or Coach, or both of you, what is the fight that you're going to have to take and the guy that you're going to have to beat to get that full due respect? Is it a Charlo?
What fight did Mayweather have to take for him to get that?
Oscar.
No,
get it?
But even after Oscar, they still
after
get
Oscar,
Did he get it? When he fought Pacquiao, did he get it?
When he fought Pacquiao,
No.
they said Pacquiao was injured, so he didn't get the credit. Yeah, so
You never.
and
The way
Oscar,
I look at
Oscar
it.
never got the credit.
Yeah.
Oscar
When he beat
never got the
McGregor,
credit
though, finally.
till he
McGregor.
No, part of the story there isn't part of the revenge the paycheck. The paycheck is good. You can.
But I look at it like you're never really gonna get it. You're never really gonna get it. I mean, from some people, yes, but from everybody, it's impossible.
Haters gonna hate.
Yeah, you're always
Haters
gonna
hate, and
have somebody
They're gonna
discredit
keep
you.
hating until eventually, because eventually in boxing, it would be beautiful to retire undefeated, but that's tough to do.
Yeah.
When you're taking real fights.
Right.
And eventually, when Saddam does lose, if he does, against a top-notch fighter, they're gonna say, "Well, see, we told you." Yeah, but he had a string of 16 wins or whatever it is. So.
Hateration at the utmost. But we don't thrive on that. This young man, I'm gonna tell you something about Saddam. Saddam has the most even keel attitude ever. It's like things can go over his head and it don't even bother him. And if it does, he don't show it to you. He's just such a nonchalant entity. And that's what makes it easy for him to do the things he does. Whereas his father, Lenny, Curtis, and myself, we're worrying, shouting, shoving, and everything else, and this, that, and Saddam would be like, we're gonna do what we gotta do. I got this. and we get upset when he says, I got this, but so far he's been getting this. And we're just gonna continue doing that, and I'm telling you, we're going upstate for this fight. We're a short ride away from the International Boxing Hall of Fame. We're gonna go by the Boxing Hall of Fame because I want Saddam to see what it is to be a part of greatness. And once he enters that hall of greatness and it starts emulsifying and him absorbing it, he's gonna wanna be a Hall of Famer. And for him to be a Hall of Famer, he has to take care of business. And that's what he's gonna do Saturday night.
I think one of the interesting things that Andre said was that Saddam is like a nonchalant type of individual. And that's what the public see. And they used to seeing and hearing a lot of trash talk. They used to all this aggressiveness. It don't come from him. What they're looking at, in essence, is a quiet storm. It's a quiet storm. And that's why when he does win, it's an unbelievable task. Like, how did he do that? How did he do that? And that's what they're going to see on Saturday night. They're going to see a quiet storm bring thunder. And so, what they're going to say, the same thing? What Saddam did, he does work hard. He's a person that, like Andre said, we have to push and push. He's not your average fighter. But that's what makes it more even special. You know what I mean? It's the unknown. It's the unknown.
Coach, you wanting to bring him to the Hall of Fame, is part of that you trying to instill in him a deeper belief in just how good he can be? In other words, you think there's another 10% that he could get to? Maybe because he's so humble, actually.
Oh, most definitely.
Can you talk about that some? And then Saddam, this is that you're not in the room and I'm talking about you, but if you could speak to it too. It seems like maybe humility is there, and I don't know, do you want to see more meanness?
No,
not meanness.
Right, no, I don't even want to see a change in Saddam. I just want him to see where greatness ends up being. And once he's in the Hall of Fame and reading and looking and absorbing all the information pertaining to every great fighter that gets to enter those hallowed halls, it makes you a different person. It makes you a different person. It makes you want to be there. I want to see my picture up on those walls one day. And the only way to do that is to keep winning and winning impressively. And although we are planning to win impressively, when you see that, it makes you work just a little bit more. It's tender to accept more in your performance capabilities, and that's what Saddam is going to do.
When you look at him moving into this new division, has there been any work physically to add more muscle or anything like that, or are you still keeping in your mind that 147 is still a division that you'd like to still going back to, and you don't want to add too much to still be able to go back down if that was ever an option for you?
Well, yeah, definitely gotta be stronger at that weight. You know, that's why I have my strength and conditioning coach, Scooter from Long Island, and also on the side when I don't have Scooter, I got Curtis Stevens in. This, like I said last time, this man makes me do push-ups, pull-ups. Like he just makes sure he knows I got the speed, so he makes sure that he keeps that power.
Yeah, he's a machine.
On me, so we add that on to it.
So Dom, is there any desire to fight Jesse Vargas again? You know, to get back that loss?
No, I mean it's not really on my mind. Honestly, you know, he was the better man that night. I know if things were differently, it would have been a different outcome. But it's not something that's on my mind. I'm a world champ. You know, I fought Miguel Cotto. I beat Cotto. So it's like I'd rather have a world title, win it that way than how I would have got it. You know, but I don't. It's not on my mind. But who knows? You know what happens in the future. You never know. But it's not something that's on my mind at all.
Following back up on the question that I asked you, the reason why I asked it is when you look at some of the other 54-pounders, they're really big guys.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, that's what I was wondering, are you planning on bulking up more, or is 47 still something where you're kind of like in the middle, you're not sure, you're just going where it's going?
Look at Laura. Laura's not that big. Yeah, you know, so I mean,
Like Hurd and Charlo are big dudes.
yeah, they're huge.
Yeah.
But I mean,
You haven't seen Saddam without his shirt on.
Lately.
I don't
Lately.
problem with that.
I don't feel like I really.
on Saturday night.
I don't feel like I would really want to like bulk up, because if I bulk up, it can take away from my skill, what I got, the speed, the movement. So
Can we talk about that? What do you think your best attributes are at 154?
I think
Speed clearly helped with Cotto, but people will say he was older, but I think you
Right.
probably have speed anyway. What do you think you bring to the division?
Of course, speed, movement, fighting smart. It's not. You're not just gonna be able to walk me down. I'm not just gonna sit there for you to load up. You know.
I wouldn't dare.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm just fighting smart, pretty much.
Did you catch Jacobs versus Sulewski?
Yeah.
So Sulewski's really like a 154 pounder, and he gave Jacobs some trouble with sort of speed and angles. What did you make of him, and did it remind you at all sort of the things that you're looking to do?
I think he surprised a lot of people. A lot of people didn't expect him to fight that good. You know, it wasn't much of what Danny Jacobs didn't do. It was more of he came prepared, and he really came to fight. As for me, what I'm gonna do, I don't really know. Honestly, I don't. I can move around a little bit. I might even put some pressure on him. I might drop some bombs, like some power shots. You know, I mean, anything can come from it. So we'll see.